Good evening and welcome back. So today I wanted to add more lights, but I saw something else that I wanted to do first, and um, that is use these cliff pieces here to make some of my terrain areas look a bit better. So this is the showcase level for the cliff pieces. Some of them don't have backsides, so we can't turn them around as much, but we can use them in other ways. Just to put them on top of terrain areas and fix those up a bit. Make them look a bit more interesting. Okay, there's also some ferns here. Wait, what's this? Oh, that's the background. Okay, this is just a showcase thingy. These are quite interesting. They're just rocks like that. Another thing I wanted to look into is how to make the whole world a bit more believable. And at the moment, if I load up the big level, do that. There are a few small issues here. First small issue is that a lot of the terrain parts here are empty. If this loads in, I can show you what I mean by that. Or if you were here before at some point, you know that already. And I want to figure out something to either fill them with or remove them. So let's jump out here. For instance, this area out here is completely empty and not used for anything. I think I'm using this level here for the for loading into the world. Let's see, where's my level start? Oh no, it's not level start, it's player start. Yeah, this is the player start is in this area here, so that we have an area with grass below it so that we can change the settings and see a difference in the terrain. But basically all the rest here is not loaded when this area is loaded in, so might look into better options for that. And another thing I wanted to do at some point is basically take out the areas here and then basically add meshes below that make the whole thing look like a big floating island, because I like the idea of floating islands. But then I also need to change this area here a bit, so it makes a bit more sense. But what I wanted to do today is I can see these cliffs here. First thing is they look a bit blocky. Second thing is, if I set this to on, you see it a bit better. The terrain texture is awfully stretched on these. So the idea is to put meshes in front of those that make the cliff parts look a bit better. And I want to do that for almost all of my cliff areas here. For instance, these areas here I really don't like that. Want this to look different. And I also might be able to change the cave in the process so that the cave looks a bit better. Just need to see what kind of pieces I have and what I can do with them. And the biggest issue area is this here. And I definitely need to do something about that. So let's see if we can throw a few meshes in there and make this look a bit better. One problem is that I threw these meshes in and noticed that the height of these is not the same as my wall height here. And if I have this one, this also doesn't really fit. So I might need to do a bit of resizing on them and try to make sure that they still look good. Let's check this one here. Yeah, the problem is because of the moss on them, I can't really overlap them nicely without issues. I mean, this could work, maybe. I use these half-sized pieces here. Oh, half height pieces. No, they are still floating, and I'm not sure that, okay, it should work if I add another one in here. Yeah, could work. Then I just need to level out the terrain according to that. Yeah, not 100% sure about that. I could also just resize them slightly to make this work. Not sure, do I have different materials? Not really. Master material. Distillation multiplier. Okay, so yeah, don't have good option to kind of remove the moss. And I could just remove that whole part of the tree here, but not sure. So we'll look at these and see if they fit. Let's blueprints. Level blueprint. That. Let's see if that works. Okay. I mean, it could work. Okay, choose a site that's not lit that early, so I should have put them over here so I can see them in sunlight. But like you can see here, I definitely need some mesh to cover this up. And like I said, my cliffs don't look that good. I mean, I still need a better texture for them anyway, but then, okay, then the problem is that everything needs to fit together, and yeah, I just would need to get a different material if these are not working properly. Don't really like the moss, and that seam is horrible, but okay, that's seems we can cover up. It's not a problem. Yeah, I might need to change the moss. It's too wet for my taste. So I definitely need to do a bit of work on the material here. But apart from that, I think this could work. Yeah, then I need to flatten out the material. The terrain around it, so it's no longer visible through it, and then it should work. I know, like I said, I need to go in and change the roughness and do a bit of work on it to make it look a bit better. But I think I might use these to fix some of these issues that I have here on the terrain. Especially around here. These areas here are horrible. Hello. How are you two? Bear and Kev Fallen. How are you today? I'm fine. Yeah, most of my cliff areas look a bit strange. For instance, these here definitely need to be fixed and replaced with something better looking. Why is it? Why is the performance that horrible? Performance in here. Strange. Yeah. And another thing is, I might not add lights and furniture to all the houses here. I'm on 420. Um, no, just the light props that I have in here. Nothing. It's nothing new. It's the old light crystal with something for the walls. Um, but I might not put them in every house and not furnish every house here. Only the houses that are important enough, let's call it that way. So, for instance, the inn needs to have lighting in here. The warehouse needs to have lighting. The definitely the smithy because you need to go in here for a quest. And then maybe the town hall. Because you should be talking with the mayor, even though the mayor for some reason is running around here, which I'm not sure why. And more important than the town lights are lights in the brewery. I think that might be the issue, that I have the whole area here loaded. And let's do this. Can I invert level selection? And unload those. Yeah, let's save this here first. I don't need that because I'm not using any geolocation stuff at all. So I have a plugin here that positions the sun on the sky sphere accordingly with rotation and stuff like that. So that works. I need to look a bit into all the features that are on it. Some of them are a bit too expensive, but I don't need geolocation. I read about that, but it's not really needed for this project. It's not... No, I have issues with performance in if everything is visible, and if I start up the engine and haven't, oh, these are the wrong level. Okay, but and I think, what was the other thing? Engine is starting up and too many lights are not built, then I have performance issues in the editor. If lights are built and the editor is open for a moment, it's okay. For instance, now it's a lot better. Because only this level is loaded. Yeah, I definitely need to put lights in here. So let's do that. Let's find my light blueprint. Blueprint? I think so. Lights. And light crystal wall. Yeah, that's the one. Let's put that in here. Attach it to our brewery. And yeah, now it should be there. So I can use this to put lights on the inside here. And I also have performance issues because there's a lot of stuff running in the background, which I haven't turned off completely. For instance, I have a lot of browser windows open, and these definitely eat away a lot of performance, a lot of RAM in the background. Oh, I definitely need to create channel-leer version of those. crystals in here already. Light. Yeah, do have them in here. But those are not attached properly. Okay, that's the issue. Okay. Okay, we can't put them there because that's the staircase, but I think here might work. Yeah. Okay, let's rotate this here around here and put one on the other side as well. Okay, not sure about this one here. Problem is they are already overlapping, so not sure if that would cause issues. I mean, it's not stationary lights, they're all static lights, but okay, so Oh, these are definitely an issue. I need to change the light map for these. So ideally they should be blue like this. So I need to change the light map density for that. God, I wanted to look something else. Light complexity. Okay, they are not built yet, so we don't get that here. Yeah, we don't have stationary lights, so that's not an issue. So it shouldn't be much of an issue if I put them right next to each other like this. No, this. This one there. Not sure if I should put them also on all sides, but I think that might be a bit too much then. I mean, there will be lights on the tables if it's too dark, and it is, I know, but I'm not. They are all baked lights, so I'm not sure if it's an issue that much. Yeah, maybe. That could be the case, but I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. It would take a bit longer to build them, but um, then it should look okay, I think. I think it makes more sense if I have those lights on each pillar. Problem is if I make the radius bigger, the attenuation radius, and the light brighter, then it's too bright if I have a really narrow corridor, which I do have in some cases here. Okay, it's dark here. So in these corridors here, wouldn't work. If I need to change something what? If I need to change wall setup or lights? I mean, if I need to change wall setup, okay, then I need to rebuild the lighting for those walls. But if I want to change anything on the lights, then I can just change the blueprint, and it would be changed for all of them. Where's that inverse square again? Is it on the world settings? Lightness, or where is it? Oh, okay, yeah. No squared fall off. Okay, we don't need those because we have the mesh for that. I mean, I set it to candleless so that I know how bright it is, so that I can have better control of it. That's why it was 8 here. Let's put this to maybe 15. Make it a bit brighter. But it shouldn't be too bright, that's the thing. Yeah, okay, this can't see properly because we need to rebuild the lighting. So playing around with this in here might be a bit too much. I still need to move the furniture to the right spots. So basically this room should be lit up by those lamps on the side and maybe by a few on pillars in the middle of the room. So if I jump in here, let's see if that works. It should be mostly lit up. Which works. Okay, here I have the issue that there's no light, but we still can see our way around. So if we go from here, so basically I want a pillar. And this one should be here maybe. Yeah, I noticed that it looks a bit strange, so let's do that. Lamp. Don't cast shadows. But then this looks really strange here. Okay, so let's yeah, I know. But this will still cast shadows. And I kind of want this to cast shadows, but it just looks a bit strange on this here, so just so that this is not really centered here properly. This looks okay. Let's have a look. This is not casting shadows. Okay, I wanted to add some lights in here. Yeah, I'm not sure. It should be a bit more. Light color is off. That is. Let's make it a bit more. More red. It's a bit more orangey. A bit warmer. I mean, it should look kind of like a dungeon in some areas. If I have these walls and stuff like that, it should look like a dungeon. But I mean, in horror games, it's mostly dark. In bad horror games, let's call it that way. It's mostly dark, and then you have a few lights here and there. So in comparison to that, this is quite bright lit up. right-clicked it up, so don't think it should be an issue. Yeah, okay, that's something that I need to change. I need to um, add different pillars for these areas and stuff like that. That's definitely true. But at the moment I have these pillars and these walls, and that's mostly fine. And these are not candles, those are glowing crystals, and they never run out, so they were installed at some point and then they are just there and burning. So why shouldn't this be lit up like that? If you have some light that never runs out, and why not use it everywhere? Not sure if that would look good. Let's see if this... Yeah, I like wood a bit more for these. Maybe it should be a rougher, more dirty kind of wood, but I like this a bit more. Even though I need to get more variations on pillars and wall pieces and stuff like that, so I might just add something like that at some point. Okay, the pillars are still there, they're just not showing up properly. Why do we have a gap there? That's strange. Oh, I think the wall here is not placed properly. So, pillars are back. Okay, it's at here. I think that should be enough, even though yeah, I need something down here, but maybe over here. No, this doesn't look that good, I think. Let's keep those on the pillars. Makes this a bit more dark down here, but I think it's fine. Should be lit up through global illumination, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. Okay, we have one in here. Okay, yeah, I need to change those shelves here. I mean, I need to create shelves with my models here, basically. Because these are still part of the old kind of placeholder measures that I used way in the beginning of the project. Yes, that is true. But the issue is if I just plop point light here in the middle, I need to make sure that it's kind of contained to the room. That it's... And I need to... It's a configuration and realism issue with me. The thing is, I don't really like lights without sources. And that's why I'm placing all those small lights all over the map. Because each light has a source. And I know exactly where that light is coming from. It might not be good for my building times of light maps and my light map sizes or something like that. But it makes more sense to me that the light is there and it's working there. I might need to add bounce lights in specific areas. Low intensity, simple lights that are just there so that it looks like the light is bouncing a bit more. But I kind of want to have lights at specific sources. Yeah, that might be the case. That might be true, yeah. But it makes more sense to me this way. Might not be realistic, but it makes more sense. That's the thing here. And I'm missing a pillar here. Okay, another pillar missing. Why would I need to change the settings? If I see a reason to change it, then I would make a copy and create another one with the changes and plug that in specific areas where it's needed with those changes. At the moment I don't see a reason to change these much. Let's have that. That I'm not working in the most efficient way, you should know by now. And the thing is, if it really causes issues, then I need to change it. It's as easy as that. I try to work with it this way, and if that's not working, then I can change it. Let's set up a pillar here, over there. Yes, that's true. There are a lot of tutorials on lighting and all that stuff. I watched a few of them. And I haven't watched enough to completely understand the whole process. Maybe that's an issue. But that's, it might be OCD, it might be something else. I kind of don't like floating lights without sources. And I might need to add them in some areas, like I said, but I try to work without lights like that for the moment. And if it doesn't look good, then I need to change it. And on the side, I will continue watching tutorials and figuring out how to do lighting. No, it's fine. It's fine. You are right. I'm probably doing this in the most inefficient way possible. And yeah, maybe I should do that. That might be an issue, might be an idea. Should have done that earlier, but I haven't, so we are stuck with this mess. And I will continue working in this mess for the moment, so bear with me. That wasn't supposed to be a pun. But it kind of feels like it. This room here will be quite interesting with this lighting setup. Because I don't have any lights in the middle of the room. So it might be really dark. Even though I still need to create those brewing wets or boilers or whatever they will turn out to be at some point. Okay, not there. Yeah, Bear told me about that. I still need to check my recordings and figure out what is causing that. It's probably some vibrations on the table and stuff like that. It's definitely on my end. It's something I need to figure out how to eliminate. Vibrating lamps. Not quite familiar with those, but sounds interesting. The doors here are hovering in mid-air because they are in the wrong spot. I need to put them in the right spot here. Haven't done that yet. And also a lot of stuff in here is floating, so I also need to fix that. I think I will work on this area today and fix all these issues. But I wanted to do the lighting first, or the light placement of light props. No, he's a regular. He's been here for a long time. And I value his input, most of the time. Wait, what? No, I don't remember that. That's interesting. So you knew me before I started this project. That's quite interesting. I didn't know that. Yep. 3D Loki. Yeah, I knew him from another game that we played um, quite excessively. Um, and that sadly never got finished. But no, no, let's not do it this way. We started playing that at the same time. Yes, he was the one that brought me over to Creativerse. Um, After the other game was shut down, I didn't want to play more early access games, and he convinced me to have a look at Creativerse and brought me onto the team there, the testing team, basically doing unpaid quality assurance. Or pay to do quality assurance and not get paid. Yeah, I played I'm not sure. When did I play this game last? I think it was last year for the Halloween event. Briefly, but only because Loki told me to jump in and play with him a bit. And I haven't touched it since. Kinda completely stopped playing the game. And by now I mean, I still follow it from time to time, but by now they focus a bit too much on fighting against mobs and still haven't added a creative mode or better mode for builder players, which I am mostly, so It's a bit annoying. But it's their focus and can't do anything against that. So let's move those doors to the right spot. Oh, we still need to add lights in here. Their own content. I mean, level 8 is doing a lot of interviews and kind of tutorial parts that helps out a lot of people in the industry, and GDC is uploading talks that are on conferences and also have a lot of other tutorial content. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one of the really interesting sections in the videos. Okay, is there one more? Yeah. No, there isn't. Good. So we get in here, we see that light. This. Okay. I still need to change the doors here, but it's easily done if I just turn this into interior round. No, that's not. Let's use these. Let's change this to unlit so that I can place this a bit more easily. Yeah, I still need to create a proper door for these frames. I need to change the frame and put a fitting door in that. height is 11,921. Okay. Okay, so I need to place them each individually because they're not. Don't have a proper distance here. Wait, this one fits? Interesting. No, not completely. So let's move this over here. Yeah, I have a lot of bookmarks of 80 level stuff and read a lot of them as well by now. Yes, it's the same door reused all over again because it's the only door I have at the moment. So yes, it is a really heavy wooden door for the toilets. Yeah, I did create them on my own. Those are my assets. And I definitely need to put a lot of work into the doors and the frames and all of it basically. Because they do not fit 100%ly, and biggest issue I have with it is that I don't have the hinges for them. So if we jump in here, there are no hinges and all that stuff, and makes it a bit strange. And also we get this issue here that it's overlapping there. But yes, these are toilets. It is day 451 today. I've been working on it. Let's see. Should be in the title. So I've been working on this for a long time. It's definitely over. Over 2 years. Okay, let's set this back to 100. Oh, I love those. I love those breakdowns of different materials and how they work. Those are really awesome. Another thing that you can have a look at is the Learn section for Unreal stuff and all these feature samples. And for instance, if you want to find out how the sequencer works or the content examples, or how they build this step by step, and just look at those, take them apart. You will learn a lot from that. Something I haven't done myself yet, but a lot of people told me to do that and that it helped them a lot. But kind of started jumping in and watching tutorials for a lot of stuff, and haven't looked at predefined stuff, and take that apart because I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not getting how they did that. I need someone to tell me how they did it. I'm not that good at taking pre-created stuff apart and do it from there. But this is definitely a good section to learn a lot, apart from the video tutorials and stuff like that. And then on YouTube, there are a few people that you can have a look at their tutorials. That's Tom Lumen has a few good tutorials. Then let me check if I have a few here. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Oh, by the way, sorry about that. If you want to learn about lighting, lighting in Unreal. Have a look at the Lighting Academy tutorials by this guy. Not just because, no, Tom Lumen, I think it's his name. Let me check if I have a tutorial here by him. I have a lot of tabs open on this site, and I still need to find the time at some point and go through all of these. But mostly they just let's see, interactive foliage. I mean, it's not Tom Lumen, but it's also someone I've had a few good tutorials from.
Hey there, if you're interested in learning programming with C++ to build your own games in Unreal Engine.
Sorry about that. That's Tom Lumen. And okay, here. This guy is also someone that I follow tutorial wise. And Matthew Watstein or Watstein is doing series with really small components and taking them completely apart, telling you everything you need to know about that specific feature, and that helps a lot if you want to know more about one specific feature. He's not doing really tutorials on a bigger scale, but he's doing really focused parts on specific aspects of the engine. Oh yeah, my blog is hopelessly outdated. I'm not quite sure when was the last post. Was it 2 years ago? I'm not quite sure. But there you can see what I did before that. Student project, I think, is a link on the top somewhere. But I haven't done much yet. I would say this MagicAle here is my biggest project yet. And it might also be too big for just me, but I still think I can manage it somehow. Okay. I wasn't sure. It's some time ago. It's been a while. Um, I really like to work with other people. Problem is, for this project, I'm working alone because I have no way to compensate other people for their work. Because I'm working on a nearly zero budget on this game. So if people want to sponsor me in any way with just contributing without getting paid for it, I don't say no, but I would love to give something back to them. And that's why I'm working alone on this project mostly, because I don't have the budget to pay anyone. But there were a few contributions um, so far. For instance, these barrels here and the the table and all these utensils here, dishes, were sponsored by a viewer. And there are a few other small things. The lamp here was created by a viewer. And there's a notice board in town that also was created by someone. What's going on here? Definitely okay to keep asking stuff. The thing is, my vision is really fuzzy. I'm not 100% sure what I want myself. So it's not that hard to work with others at the moment. But it's a bit. Did it completely remove all the references there? That's not good. Just because I don't know what it should look like by now. I have no idea. I'm still debating if I want to have this stylized or realistic, and I've been thinking about that for months now, and I'm still haven't found one way or another to go for a specific style. And that's kind of an issue. And oh, I see. That's the issue here. So this is supposed to be a window material, and this is supposed to be something else. Okay. And for these, it should be similar. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here I need to select the walls. No, I just go up here, grab those. Um, I started the whole thing as the first thing that I did was I built the interior of this brewery here. And that was 2 years ago, or more than 2 years ago, in Unity. And when I was finished with that, I thought, now I have the interior of this, and this looks interesting, but what would the area around it look like? And then I started adding stuff to it in as kind of a level design project. And then I noticed, I have fun doing that. Let's continue doing that and build a game out of it. With really simple mechanics, but focus on story and level design. And that's kind of how the project started. It kind of exploded at some point because I just couldn't stop with the immediate area around here. I needed to build a huge world and needed to change that, needed to have it load in and out properly and all that stuff. So it started with small goals that grew bigger and bigger, basically. And then at some point it got a bit too much out of hand, and then I tried to dial it back a bit. So that I'm not creating complete RPG, but just an exploration adventure game. Even though that is also way too much for just one person. So, advice out of my experience in that regard is pick a project, pick a specific goal, and stick with that. Build that and see if it works, and only then see if you can add to it, but still keep in mind that it should be manageable by one person or by the size of your team. I mean, there's a term for that. It's called feature creep. And it's not 100%ly what feature creep is in big productions, but it's similar to that, what I kind of did for my project here. I mean, I still have set boundaries for the whole thing, but I kind of push them from time to time. And then crazy stuff is added to that. For instance, do we have one here? Let's see. There should be a obelisk somewhere around here. Yeah, here we have one. For instance, this thing here, the only purpose of this thing is as a point you can click at and collect runes. And kind of an achievement thing. You collect all the runes and then you are able to read a specific text that doesn't exist yet. That's this thing. And I built a system for that, which is not finished yet, but the beginnings are there. The goal is to create a full game with my scope. At the moment, it looks like selling that might be a bit of an issue for me at the moment because I have a few things that I need to figure out first. Oh, you are not supposed to be in this level. That prevent me from founding a company and sell the game. Another issue is that I haven't put down my ideas down on paper yet completely. It's mostly in my head and I'm kind of playing around with it while building this. So there's no fixed concept for the game written down that I follow. And that's an issue in some cases, especially if I want to show that my idea to other people. I can just show them the game, but I can't show them kind of a game design document because it doesn't exist. The only thing that I have in that regard is check this one here, yeah, is this Trello board here. And here are bugs for specific versions and kind of things that are already done, suggestions that came from people at the beginning, some ideas, and yeah, still things still to be worked on. This is one of the points that I haven't done yet. The visual style of the game. Still rethinking that every day, basically. I kind of like stylized look, but all the assets that I bought or got from other people were realistic, and I'm not sure if I want to change those so that they are more stylized or if I want to change the textures that I have to be more realistic. So it's a mixture of different styles and doesn't look good the way it is at the moment. So all in all, it's a complete chaos. And in the beginning, I had a few viewers that told me I'm super organized and this looks awesomely thought through and stuff like that, but it kind of ran away from me and is an absolute chaos at the moment. And I need to figure out ways to work with it more ideally. And big part of that is learning how it's done properly. And Bear is reminding me of a lot of ways that a lot of things that I do wrong most of the time, and I still haven't looked up all the things that I should look up to work on this. It looks like that, but if you watch me for a week or so, you'd see that I'm really not organized at all. Sometimes I sit down and have no idea what I want to do on the project. Then I see, okay, I could do lights, I could do that. Let's do walls, something like that. So it's the bigger picture is there, but the small organization is completely off most of the time. But I mean, those people that make really small 2D puzzle jumpers, they have a really small scope, and they are able to finish their games in a month or 2 or 3, depending on their skill level. And I've been working on this game for over 2 years, and I don't see an end to it. And I really have no idea when I will be finished with this project, because most of the world is empty. Let me just load all the terrain tiles and show you the overworld map and show you that it is really empty. Okay, first thing, all the green areas around the mountains are completely empty and there's nothing in there. Nothing. It's not used for anything. And most of the other areas are also quite empty. I do have the town over here with a few NPCs running around and a quest to pick up and an empty market. Then I have this area here that is empty with a few small things along the road that might be interesting, I'm not sure. And then it's mostly empty areas with nothing to do and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I would love to be a bit more organized and know what I'm doing sometimes. It's kind of an issue. But I mean, I have also strange creatures you can find around the world like these. Which I also created on my own, and that's why they look a bit strange. And it also looks like they're sliding above the ground, but they do have really simple walk cycles. But for some reason they are not using proper foot placement. And another issue is that they are naked or skinned. They shouldn't look like this, and I have still not figured out why. They should be fuzzy and furry, but they are not. No, they're a mixture between an ant lion and an anteater and a kiwi, the bird. Yeah, they are different sizes to show kind of that they can come in different sizes. Yeah, okay, those could be the parents, those could be the children. No, I'm not making a horror game. They're not horrible. They're just... They should look cute. Let's have a look at them. Let's see how they should look like. Animals. Should be fuzzy like this. No, they have a script that tells them that oops, it's unlit. These bushes here are food sources, and they have a hunger meter, and that goes down, and at a specific point they want to eat, run to the food source, eat the food source disappears, and then it kind of regenerates in the background. Google Maps images in the background. What Google Maps images in the background? Or image in the background. Not sure what you mean. Oh, you mean that. This is one of the reflection capture images that comes with Unreal Engine. And it's there to have something in the background, and also works for reflections on your mesh for the material here, so that you see different colors reflected a bit. Let's see if it shows this. Maybe it just doesn't show the... Let's see, this is... Oh yeah, that's another issue. At some point there was an issue with this. So, okay, let's save this. Okay, so it is the material there that has an issue. Yeah, it's the material. Yeah, that will probably not show up. I have no idea how to fix that. I mean, looks like there's something on them now, but probably will be gone later. Interesting. So this one seems to be staying on and not disappear. Let's see what I did for that. So I had the bunny, which is the fur base, which is something I bought. That's an advanced, what was it called? Advanced fur material? Advanced fur shader. And this is the material there. And that I created this thing here from, wait, but the one that I was using earlier was some character here. Yeah, it was the bunny material here. No, where is it? Material. Bunny. That was the one that I had on earlier. that doesn't work. Okay, so it was just that material instance that didn't work properly. Okay, so that all these don't work for some reason, but my own where is it? My own instance I created from them seems to be working. That's strange. Wait, is that using a different master? No, this is using the same master material for that. Strange. But I don't like the color. No, wait, let's see. Cancel. My blueprint for these. Let's do something crazy here. Let's what was the name? Fiber base color. Select that. So fiber base color. Correct. And the other one was fiber tip color, right? Let's compile that. And let's have a look. No, okay, that doesn't work. Let's see. Is it the color, wind motion for the edges? I can't speak. For the edge, fuzzy edges. Can't speak. Fiber high texture. Oh, it's fiber color base. Wait. No. Fiber base. Oh, it's British English. Yes, now they are. They have completely crazy colors. Awesome. I like this one. This is awesome. I mean, the grass color is also nice. Kind of, yes. I definitely need to fix a lot of stuff on them, but it's interesting that that material had those issues. But apart from the color, that's how they should look like. They should be fuzzy like this and don't look that horrible. Yeah, Teletubbies are a bit strange, but I think they're American. They were imported from America, so they are to blame, I would say. And I mean, if I look at Pokemon, then there's a lot of crazy stuff in Japan as well. So, kind of like this, even though I want to limit the range of the colors a bit more. So that they're not that crazy different. Oh, UK. Okay, good. That's it's equally crazy sometimes. Yeah, I might not use the complete random vector here, but I like differences in the colors there, so that let's have a look. What else can we do here? Um, I definitely need to fix the mesh itself because I think there's an issue on the animations size-wise that the see so this is really tiny, and I think I did something wrong by importing the animations. I think there's something wrong with the scales. Let's see, transform. I mean, here it's 1. Yeah, they can't run around. They are only with themselves and not much influence from the outside for too long. But I'm not sure. There are a few really interesting, nice things that came from the UK, and few interesting things that came from Japan as well, and a lot of crazy things from both of them. So, okay, definitely also need to change that color there. What was it? Fresnel tint. Yeah, but it's fine. I'm me neither, so not sure if that gives us the same value or if it randomizes it for each of them. Not sure. Let's see. Oh, maybe I should rename it. This is Fresnel tint. Was it right? Yeah. Yeah, I know that randomizes it, so yeah. Um, I don't know much about Japan, so I can't say much on that. So, I'm not a big fan um of anime and all that stuff and all this cutesy um stuff like chibis, Pokemon and stuff like that. I have no. It's not for me. Um, and most animes are also not for me because of the strange humor that they have in there to break down a few things. And I really can't deal with those sometimes. Not familiar with those. Hello. This is, let's promote it to a variable here. Tip color. And then start in here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cats are awesome. I like cats. Even though I don't have a cat at the moment, but mostly because I would not be able to care for it properly. That's kind of the issue. Yeah, let's just remove that because we don't need that. The eye color is okay, but the rest we don't need. Let's go in here and change this here to something a bit more gray. No, no, let's give this a bit of color. Nearly back to the one that I had before. Okay. So what else do we have here? Whoa, okay. Grass chunky. Yeah, I think this might be a bit too much. Let's go here. And shared wrap. all the other textures on this I also need to set to shared. Something in my eye, damn it. But I will stop in a moment, so I can have a look at that then. Okay, let's see. The other textures, fiber height. Okay, here I can't set that. Growth map, interesting. Oh, I could do a vertex color on that, interesting. Let's see. Wait, am I changing this here somewhere? Nope. Interesting. Okay, so this is the only one that has PBR. Yeah. Okay, so let's not do that. You know what did change it? Let's see. Oh, okay, so that... Interesting. Okay, so that made them striped like crazy, but the UVs are horrible on these, as you can see. But that's interesting, I like that. Yeah, okay. I think I will stop here for today. I still need to finish up the brewery lights. And I also need to look into proper ways to do lighting. But at the moment I will stick with my way here. So I need to finish up the upper floors here, even though Okay, we don't even have walls set up here correctly, so let's just keep the lights down there, and that's okay for the moment. I do need to do a lighting build for all of this and finish up the lights in other areas that might be important enough, and then figure out the individual houses and stuff like that. Tomorrow, yeah, I think I might do mostly that stuff tomorrow, and if everything else comes up, then I will have a look at that. And I should, at least at some point, I need to look at my doors and fix those. Not quite sure when I will do that. Also not quite sure when I will experiment a bit more with Substance Designer. Let's see what we can get done on tomorrow and Friday and go from there. And I also need to place more of these cliffs around and fix those. So that's it for today, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.